Bonjour tout le monde, je m'appelle Nick. No, we are not going to talk French anymore. We are here at the French Grand Prix, of course. You can see we are going for a new teammate, but everybody's focus is extremely low. Everybody who is driving at the moment in Formula 1 has a focus of 50 or 53 or lower. So we are going for Jensen Button once again for the second half of the season. So yeah, we are now once again stuck with him for the rest of the season. Of course, he's been a great teammate so far. We've gained quite a few points with him. Of course, we've done it better than him because he had a rough start to the season. And as you can see, we are upgrading in durability. It's an ultimate upgrade, but even though we are doing this upgrade for 1.6k resource points, we are not even getting past Williams. So there's still a long way to go in terms of durability, but that's not for today, that's for another time. Let's get into qualifying. Quality time, we are going for our first flying lap, and you can see it right here, right now. We are on track going towards turn 1, turn 2, and the other turns, they will follow, of course. We are behind a McLaren, I think it's Daniel Ricciardo, and he is not on a flying lap, so hopefully he won't hold us up too much. As we are now already coming to an end of our first flying lap. Of course, it's still a bank lap, so nothing major here. We are doing a second flying lap for sure. That's just how every qualifying goes. And hopefully this time we will get through to qualifying too, as we slot in just behind our teammates and just half a second behind Ocon. You can see we tried another lap, but we spin unfortunately. So we go on towards our final lap in qualifying. You can see we are on mediums. That's because I didn't have another set of softs. This may sound a bit crazy, but I only had one set of softs for Q1, one set of softs for Q2, and one for Q3. Of course, I don't know if we will get there, but something has changed in the tire compounds. So I got one set of softs, one set of medium, and one set of hard for qualifying. I don't know why. So we are going and try to qualifying on the mediums. Of course, I had to put up the pressure of the tires a little bit higher to get a bit extra heat in them. So hopefully that will work, as we are up by half a tenth. Qualifying is complete and we are in P11 at the moment, so hopefully we will get through. As you can see, we are minimalizing the damage, so hopefully we will get through to qualifying too. We are up by 2 tenths. We didn't get a great exit, but we are currently in P15 and I don't see anyone who can stay or get us out of qualifying 1. As you can see, we are in P12, so we are through to qualifying 2, which is absolutely amazing. You can see my teammate is on softs and he qualified as well. So we did qualifying on the mediums, which means that we can be even faster. So that's only good to know. As Leclerc and Russell are out of qualifying 1, I don't know what happened to them. Maybe the same with the tires. If you can see now, we are getting towards the end of qualifying 2 already. We are up by half a second just after one sector. So our banker lap wasn't the best. So we are trying to get into qualifying 3. Of course, we are in P15, so we need to improve a lot. You can see we are up by a second at the moment. Only Albon is behind us, but he is going over the line as well. He's up to P12. That won't be enough to get into qualifying 3, but we are still going towards the end of the lap. Of course, once again, final corner, not the best exit, but this time we gain time instead of losing time. So we are going towards Q3. Are we in it? There's only one way to find out. Yes, we are. We are up into P7. Of course, it's still qualifying 2, so maybe we won't get up as high as that, but we will have to wait for that one. We get a few XP bonuses. Our current tier is 24, I don't know why I'm showing you this, as this is not relevant at all. You can see my teammate went through in P10, so he is in Q3 as well. And you can see right now the qualifying results. We finished in P9 and P10. So hopefully a few penalties up ahead will get us to P5, P4, maybe even on pole position. We will need to wait for that. Let's go.
Welcome along then to France, one of the great racing meccas, host of the world-famous Tour de France, and widely thought of as giving birth to the art of motor racing in the late 1800s. How far we've come since then, as this year's race gets underway. It's time, of course, for the French Grand Prix. The circuit Paul Ricard then, a 3.6-mile track, 25 miles east of Marseille. 15 corners here, 6 to the left and 9 to the right, with the main overtaking chance expected to be going into turn 8. Top speeds today should be around 205 miles per hour. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Vettel, Ocon, Sergio Perez and Sainz. The engineer, Button, Norris and Kevin Magnussen. Fernando Alonso, they've taken a grid penalty. Albon, Daniel Ricciardo and Tsunoda. Schwartzman, Gasly, Lance Stroll and Nicholas Latifi. Russell, Mick Schumacher, Leclerc and Guan Yu Zhou. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. And a warm welcome to Natalie Pinkham, who's beside me in the commentary box today. Let's begin by discussing Daniel Ricciardo. Looks like they have a tough race in store today, as grid penalties from changing power unit components has forced them further down the field.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a much more aggressive approach today to make up for that compromised start.
In the last race we had a podium. If you haven't seen that one, then go check that one out in the description right now. But we are starting this race, of course. It's French Grand Prix. It's the last one on the real calendar, as it won't be in the calendar for 2023, unfortunately. You can see the lights are coming on, and when they're out we are away. You can see right now it's lights out and away we go in P7 and P8. You can see we have a bad start as always, nothing new. Of course a few drivers are on the hard, so they will be doing a hard medium strategy as we go down the inside of Norris and Magnussen. Oh, that was close. But you can see we are not focusing on us anymore, we are going to focus on Button, as he's going 3 wide into turn 3, I think it is. But unfortunately he didn't have the courage to overtake them. Of course, we don't want any front wings flying around, so he did the right thing. As we are now going into a hairpin, no, another hairpin, is a chicane in lap 1, and we almost ran into the back of our teammates, so luckily we didn't do that, of course. As you can see, we are up with the Red Bulls, Ferraris, Mercedes and McLarens. Of course, it's only one McLaren up ahead, and you can see Ocon is up ahead as well. He is our main rival at the moment, because we want to be ahead of Alpine in the standings at the end of the season. As we go down the inside of our teammate, you can see a beautiful overtaking spot. Unfortunately, it's a track limits warning, but we get the overtaking done, and we are up into P7 and even P6. Let's go down the inside here. This time no warning, so we get up into P6, and that will be a good amount of points. Of course, last time in Austria we had a podium, we finished in P2, so let's just hope that we can do the same this time around. But I can tell you that won't happen, as Verstappen and Vettel are in another league. They are absolutely crazy with how fast they are, and we can only hope to get a P3 out of this race. Of course, we are fighting with the big boys now, with Perez, Sainz and Hamilton. I think Russell had a bit of damage in the first lap, so he is into the pits and not relevant to us anymore. And our gearbox is now at 60%, so let's just hope that we don't get an engine failure, because that would be really annoying now that we are finally getting points regularly. I think Canada was a turning point for us, so let's just hope that we can get points every race now as we go down the inside here once again. This time no warning, so we are up into P5 past Perez, and now it's only Sainz and Hamilton up ahead, who we can overtake to get a podium. But of course it's not so easy to get past them. As you can see, we are 1 second behind and we don't get DRS. Hopefully we can gain back to them as they are fighting. So you can see right now that we are gaining on them, and maybe we get DRS at the end of this lap. But Perez is still close behind us, so he is also overtaking us, or trying at least. And now we are finally getting in that DRS zone as we fuck up a few corners, which means that we are not getting DRS, so that's amazing. You can see lap 6 now, Perez still only 2 tenths behind us, and he is gaining. He is gaining a lot. He is in that Red Bull, and he's trying to overtake us. We are side by side, and you can see now that he's overtaking us. And Sainz and Hamilton are also trying to overtake each other. Of course, we all want to get onto that podium, as there's only one slot remaining. If Vettel and Verstappen do the right thing and not crash. Of course, they are two elite drivers, so I don't think that will happen, as there's a yellow flag. I don't know what has happened there, but we are not focusing on that. We are in P5 once again. Is Lance Stroll out of the race? Is it a crash or a engine failure? Let's have a look at it, and he just cuts the corner and thinks, I'm going home. He is not staying here, so he just goes back to Canada, where he comes from. And we are back to our race. Of course, you can see once again down the inside here at this corner. This is one of my favorite overtaking points at the track, as you can see, alongside with the other overtaking point where we've seen a few overtakes. But we are going three side by side. But we managed to stay ahead of Carlos Sainz and Sergio Perez. They are still fighting with each other, which means that they are falling out of our DRS. We are now close to Hamilton, so hopefully we can overtake him, as we are just in lap 7. Are we going down the inside here once again? No, unfortunately this time not. We need to wait just a little bit longer, and we are using DRS, ERS and everything that we have to get ahead of him, and hopefully defend from him for the rest of the race, as we don't want to get overtaken once again by him. You can see now Perez is out of that 1 second gap. He is trying to hold on to it, but it's really hard as they are fighting a lot. My teammate is still in P7 or something like that, so he's doing a great job as well, as we are really close to Hamilton. Only a few meters between us, so let's just hope that we do not get damage from overtaking him. I was looking down the inside here, but you can see I got oversteer and got nowhere. I went the other way, so I lost a bit of time. Now Perez is catch up again, and he's now within 1 second once again, so he is getting DRS. You can see lap 8 going on to lap 9. We are trying to overtake Hamilton here. No ERS, we are just going to do it with the DRS and the power of our engine, and we actually do it. We are up into P3. You can see Vettel and Verstappen, they are absolutely crazy, and they are already 7 seconds up ahead. Even though the leader of our pack doesn't even fight that hard, so it's just their raw pace, and they are absolutely crazy. It's not even just one team, it's McLaren and Red Bull, so they are just driving, yeah, like crazy people, because Perez is in P5, and I think Ricciardo is at the moment in P8 or 9 or something like that. I don't know exactly where he is. But yeah, we are coming into the pits in just a few laps time, as our tires are already up into the 40% or maybe even 50%, so we don't want a puncture. That would really ruin our race. So Hamilton is still really close behind us. Let's just hope that he doesn't overtake us, because we want to stay on the podium and get a second podium in a row. Of course, Vettel won the last time around, so maybe he can do the same, as we are hoping for a third position in this race. It's lap 11. Going on to lap 12, you can see Hamilton is dropping down. You can see it's 1.2 seconds behind, and we are in our pit window, so we are pitting this lap. Let's just hope that we can get a good in lap, because otherwise we are not staying ahead of them, of course. But you can see it's still a really quiet race for us, because yeah, they are falling down from us, and we are just getting in a little bit of no man's land. So at the moment it's Vettel who is going through with just another few laps, as I almost forgot to go into the pits. This has cost me a lot of time. You can see as we look behind us, it's Hamilton who is only a few meters back, so he has caught up to us just once again. But of course we are getting a good pit stop, and as we come out of the pit stop, you can see it's Hamilton and Zhou, sorry, not Zhou, and he is side by side with us. Is he going to overtake us? I hope he is not. As you can see, he has not overtaken us. Of course, we are better than him. We are in a better car, but now it's Hamilton and Zhou fighting for P11 at the moment. And you can see we are focusing on him now. And they are going side by side, but Zhou wins the battle, or at least this one. And you can see that we are not that far up ahead from them. So we need to get away from him as soon as possible, because Zhou is getting into the pits this lap. And you can see Hamilton has lost 2 seconds as we are going side by side with Perez. Oh my god, that was close. Let's just hope that we do not get a penalty for dangerous driving, of course. You can see Alonso and Ocon are still ahead of us, but of course they started on the hards. They went for an alternative strategy. They were going on a hard to medium strategy. We all went on a medium to hard strategy. So we are still gaining back those 2 positions, of course, if we drive fast enough. But of course Alonso is not that far up ahead from us. He is only 10 seconds ahead of us, so he is dropping behind us. Of course, as now Perez is trying to overtake us. It's only lap 15, so still 12 laps to go. But he wants that position oh so early to try and get away from us. You can see he's now up ahead, but we use ERS and slipstream. Of course, no DRS at this section of this track. As we go down the inside, we try to go side by side. We go back down to 7th gear. We are still side by side. Are we going to overtake him in this corner? No, we are not. We are looking from an off-board cam, and we're going down the inside. What an amazing overtake this has been. But the battle is not over yet. We are still side by side. Unfortunately, we collide. There's luckily no damage, and we are ahead of Sergio Perez at the moment. The battle is long from gone, not from gone, but from done. There's still a long way to go, still 11 laps, as now Alonso went into the pits and Perez is trying to overtake us. Once again, we are going side by side, but this time we hold the inside line. Of course, we almost got a warning there, and there's a yellow flag once again. Who is it? I think it's not Sergio Perez, because he's behind us. It's Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari. That's not a good sign for us, as we also have a Ferrari-powered engine. So let's just hope that we do not get an engine failure. Of course, with a worn gearbox, that can easily happen. So let's just hope that doesn't happen. But you can now see Button is in P6. Let's hope that he can hold that position, as Ocon is now into the pits and he is coming out of it already. And he is behind us. He's in P4 on new mediums. This can only mean one thing. We need to defend like hell to hold on to that last podium position. Of course, Verstappen and Vettel 12 seconds up ahead. We are not catching them at all. And you can see we have a big train behind us. It's a lot of drivers who want to get into 3rd position, but only one person can get it. And at the moment it's us. We are setting the fastest lap. You can see I'm happy with that. But unfortunately not a long time after that. You can see now Alonso goes over the start-finish straight, and he is now fastest lap holder. Of course, he's not in the points at the moment, so he's not getting anything for it. But unfortunately, we do not get anything for it either. So we need to try and hold on to 3rd position. It's only one chance that we get, as I don't think that we can get a podium every weekend. Of course, last time around we had an amazing weekend with a sprint race, which we went from P17 to P6, and in the big race from P6 to P2. So that was absolutely amazing, as Ocon is still behind us. He's still trying to overtake us. My teammate has fallen back to P7 at the moment, so that's not good. Not good for us, of course, in the constructor standings, as we want to overtake Alpine. I think that's the maximum that we can get from this season, as the rest is, I think, around 150 points ahead of us. So that will be really hard to do. But you can see we are still in third position, only 7 laps to go after this one. And Ocon and Perez are still trying to overtake me. You can see now Ocon is trying to overtake me, but we hold him off. We are now side by side coming towards the chicane. He almost ran into me, but luckily no damage for either of us. So we can go further on with this race. No damage, no pit stops. It's only 6 laps remaining until the end of this race. So we need to try and hold on to this position. Of course, that's the most important thing to do, as we have the worst possible exit out of the last turn. You can see Ocon is trying to overtake us. He has ERS, he has DRS, and he has a good car. So he's trying to overtake us, but we still are going down the inside, and we do not get a warning. We do not get a penalty, which is the best thing that can happen to us. Of course, not getting a penalty, of course, otherwise we would fall back down towards, I think, P7, P8 maybe, because we are all fighting so closely for that podium position. And now Ocon and Perez are fighting, and let's just see what we can do. You can see Perez is now fighting with Button. You can see it in the left top corner where everybody stands and what the gaps are at the moment. But let's just hope that Ocon can go and fight with Perez and not with us, so that we can get away with his third position. Of course, Perez is now falling back down, and we are going side by side with Ocon once again. But once again we try and hold it in P3, and we do so. It's only 4 laps remaining, not a long time anymore until we go towards the final lap. It's now Perez trying to overtake us, but he has no DRS, we have the DRS, and it's now Hamilton trying to overtake us. It's really crazy. Everybody's trying to overtake us, but we are defending like hell. We do not want to lose this position, not after so many laps. You can see now we have a bit of a gap behind us, but now Perez is coming down the inside. Of course, that is not an overtaking point, which means that there's a yellow flag. Luckily no damage for us, otherwise we would have really we would have been furious at that point. I think I would have rage quit if that would happen. But you can see still everybody is fighting for that last position on the podium. Perez now fighting with Ocon behind us. You can see I'm too much focused on that and not on my own race. As they go side by side, luckily or unfortunately no damage for them, as my teammate is falling back down. I think he's in P9 at the moment. You can see they are fighting, which means that I can get away. We are now 2.6 seconds ahead of them, which is really amazing, because we can now finally rest and finish this race. Of course, Vettel and Verstappen 23 seconds ahead of us is absolutely insane. They are almost 1 second per lap quicker than us. But we are now trying to set the fastest lap. Once again, you can see 2 green sectors, so hopefully we can make it a third one and get the fastest lap. Unfortunately, this is not the lap that it happens. Maybe the last lap. You can see now going towards the last section, or last sector, and we are still in P3. Ocon is 3.2 seconds behind, Perez is 3.5 seconds behind, so we are not getting overtaken anymore. It's Sebastian Vettel who wins the France Grand Prix. It's Max Verstappen in P2, only 3 tenths between them. This must have been an amazing race for them, but it is an amazing race for us as well, as we are going towards the last corner. We are coming out of the last corner onto the start finish straight. We are clear of Ocon, we are clear of Perez, we are clear of everyone. We are going towards the podium, and we finished P3 in the French Grand Prix. What an amazing race, to be honest. It was an amazing qualifying in P9, going up to P7 after a few penalties, and now finishing on the podium for the second time in a row is absolutely amazing.
A great race then, and a fantastic victory here at Paul Ricard. So Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
I feel consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
As the winners make their way up to the podium, one can only imagine the celebrations that will take place at McLaren tonight. Congratulations to everyone on the team, securing the win and proving that they're a force to be reckoned with out on the track.
That's your podium for this Grand Prix. It's Sebastian Vettel in P1, of course. He wins this race. McLaren is really happy with that one. And it's Max Verstappen with Red Bull. And we, of course, with our own team, 95 Racing Team. I think we did a really good job today, as we are going to look at the results in a moment. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. It's a second podium of the season. Unfortunately, my teammate dropped back down to P9, so he only got 2 points. We gained 15 points from this race. We are, of course, saving the full race replay and going towards the standards right now. Standings, not standards, I'm sorry. You can see in the standings, we are currently up into P9 ahead of Alonso. And you can see we are only 30 points back or behind Alpine and a lot of points behind Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari and McLaren, so we are not overtaking them. I think P5 is the maximum that we can get out of this season, so let's go for that. Yeah, so this was it for today. I don't think I can show you anything else. We can maybe overtake Perez at the end of this season in the standings. But that was it for today's episode. If you enjoyed, then please like and subscribe. We are going towards a sponsorship renewal in the next episode, so if you don't want to miss that, then please subscribe and click on your screen right now. You can watch a video